I was 81 when I had my last class. And I've always felt if you're involved with something that you like, then it's not work. I can't tell you how I decided on Notre Dame. One of the faculty at the school that helped me decide on Notre Dame. And so I communicated, and I was accepted. Never been here. When I was accepted, my parents took me to the Greyhound bus. I had 2 suitcases, and away we went.
My dad went here. He went to school here and stayed through a PhD, did a PhD in chemistry, so he was here and worked on the Silicon Valley project. We took the pilgrimage out here when I was in high school, but I didn't like it, so I didn't even apply.
My dad went here and my mom's dad went here. It came out and then I did apply, but admissions had a different path for me.
When I wound up coaching, I was at Johns Hopkins, and I remember one of the first things I did when I got to Johns Hopkins was to look up and see who the Notre Dame coach was, and it was Dennis.
I was here on the faculty just teaching, and we did not have a team at that time, and we had a club. I didn't know which direction I should be going, but I offered my services to the coach that was coaching the club. I said, "Do you need any help?" I think it was 2 years later, he said, "The team is going to go varsity." And Gil Burdick was the coach. And I said, "Gil, you're going to be the varsity coach?" He said, "I don't want any part of it." He says, "Put your name in." So I put my name in. And after the fact, I found out they had a search. And the athletic people said, "Well, here's Stark. Stark is teaching. He's getting a salary. Why don't we lower his teaching load during the season and give him a few bucks and he can take the coaching job?" And that's the way I got started as the coach here. In fact, the first meet, but we ended up in a tie. And on Sunday morning, I'm coming or going to church, and I bump into Father Joyce. And Father Joyce says, "Well, how did you do?" I says, "Well, we didn't win and we didn't lose." He says, "What do you mean?" He says, "We ended up in a tie." The one feature that the way I would do it, I would announce in the school paper that we're having a meeting for anybody who's interested in swimming. And the guys would all come out. See, the Rockne only has 6 lanes, so I couldn't keep a big squad because there would be no room. Then, of course, when the girls came, it was a similar situation. For a couple of years, none of the girls were selected. But one of the girls was a diver, and she was a good diver, and so I kept her. I had all guys and 1 girl. She earned her monogram competing against guys in the 1 meter. I organized a club for the girls. Father Joyce says, "We can't have that." And then Title IX entered into the picture, and so we were able to take that club and move it into varsity for the girls.
You know, I think one of the key features to having the 3 of us over a long period of time is consistency. And I think one of the most important parts is not only the 3 of us, but we're all here. You know, so to this day, there hasn't been a guy swim for the University of Notre Dame who doesn't know Dennis. Matt is new as our head coach, but he's not new to Notre Dame. And he and I coached together for 13 years. So the tradition has a lot of consistency to it.
The success has helped, I think, you know, obviously get us here to where we are today, but Notre Dame in and of itself is just a special place that people aren't going to want to leave once they get here.